For this design, we'll be using a tip which has been prepared. It's had the shine removed from it, and the colour I've chosen is dark purple as the base. We've also got a fine liner, size 0, a dotting tool, and a brush which is a straight brush. But if you prefer, you can use the angled brush. We've got the paints already prepared, and we've got red, green and white. That's all we'll need for this design. We're going to start off by making the petals to the larger flower, and for this we're going to be using red and white. So we'll just dampen our brush to start with, as always, and we'll load the brush so that we've got some red and white, and I'll just start to blend it. White will be on the outer of the petals and red will be on the inside. And here, as you can see, I've chosen to use a smaller amount of white compared to the amount of red paint which we'll be using. So we'll just load it again, because as you know, we have to load the brush 3 times. This is fine. So we'll do our first petal now. This will be an outer petal. I'm going to do it from here to about there. So let me just, that's it. So let's just make that. So we'll just slightly angle the brush. We can slightly wiggle it around. Up and down, absolutely fine. Just leave that to dry a little bit and reload the brush. I can still see that the paint is slightly shiny in the centre of the petals, which means that it's not fully dry yet. I'm just going to blow on it very quickly. Yeah, so that I can continue with the design. Now you get a more depth in the colour. That's the outer petals done. So we'll leave that to dry, because the next petals we do will be of a similar shape but slightly smaller. I will dampen the brush again, just ever so slightly now on both sides. Don't need to remove the paint in the brush, I just need to make sure that the bristles on the brush stay nice and smooth. Oops, I keep missing it. There we go. Right. We're going to move in slightly now, so we just move in slightly from here and work our way to there. So I'm going to do that now. So we're just going to do the same as the previous leaves, just apply pressure, wiggle the brush up and down. Simple as that. That's the first layer. Want to apply another layer of paint, but of course this does need to dry first, so I'm going to just give it a quick blow again. Okay. Load the brush. Just go over what we've just done. So we just bring the brush in slightly. I've got my brush angled at about a 45-degree angle while doing these petals. That's it. You can see that. You can see the two layers of petals, one on top of the other. Okay, what we do now is about halfway in between the second petals, that's where I'm going to make a little line. So here we are, it goes right here. And I'm going to join it up to the outer line of the middle of the second petal. So I'm going to tilt my brush slightly. I'm going to come down, 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 and then work my way up so that I just catch the outer side of the first petal. My brush is a bit dry, so I do need to just wet it again ever so slightly. You can feel when it's a bit too dry, it just doesn't want to move with you basically. So I'm just going to go over that again. So I just press down, push it, push it, push it and join it up with the outer side of the second petal. As you can see, this is what we've got now. We'll leave that to dry a little bit. While it's drying, I'm just loading my brush. The second petal, now I'm going to place my brush at the edge of where we've done the first line, and that is going to join up to the outer petal, the edge of the second line. So I'm going to go from here to the outer. So what we do is I just push it down the brush, 45-degree angle, and join it up to the outer petals. I'm going to do the same again. I'll just go over this again for more intensity of colour. Press it down and work my way to the edge. Now we're going to make a start on the outer petals. Oops. So just load our brush. Just to start on the first petal. Just a gentle little movement. Brush at 45-degree angle. Work your way down, press, apply pressure, and then bring it in slightly like this. Just do it again. I'm just going to wet my tissue because my paint feels slightly dry. That's it. So now we're going to do the second petal. The second outer petal, that is. Just press, 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 bring it in. Keep pressing. And there you go. We can also go over the first petal now for more intensity of colour. Just keep pressing, pressing, pressing. And then bring it in. We've got another 2 petals left to do, one on each side, so make sure the red is on the inside here with your white on the outside. Now you have to press it towards you. Your brush, that does feel a little bit different to doing it in the direction that you're used to, the direction of your dominant hand, but just keep practicing and soon you'll understand, soon it will feel absolutely fine. So that's your the third petal, sorry. And now we do one more underneath, also again with red on the inside. Just do another little petal. Wiggle the brush down, 45-degree angle, and just finish it off. A few of these petals we need to go over again to get a nice stronger colour, so we'll do that. Let's see, I believe we need to go over this one. I think I can do that one again. Press it down, and we'll do this one. Oops. So, and then we've got the last one to do. There you go. I think that's looking quite cute at the moment. We're going to add 2 smaller flowers underneath the main flower. So I'm just going to load the brush. Just to make it easier, I'm going to turn this upside down, and just directly here we're going to do a U shape. This is one of the shapes that we have practiced previously. Just do a little U, a bit like this, a tiny little U, and we'll do one on the other side as well. I think we can have 2 extra little flowers, why not? That's it. We've got 2 tiny little U's. let them dry, and then we can go over them again. I'm going to speed up the process a little bit by blowing again. So I've just blown on those. So we'll just go over these again. When you're actually doing these designs on real nails, you don't need to blow in between, because it's possible that you're doing the design on more than one fingernail. So you can just start on your second nail, start making your design, start adding a few petals to more nails, so in between layers of paint are drying, which you can go back to when necessary. Now we're going to add another U, but this time in the other direction. So now we're going to do our U going upwards. So just catch the outer corner here. Do a tiny little U going upwards. Just to close that one. And then we'll do the same here. Just do the tiniest little U. Just make sure you can see what I'm doing, that's it. So that you've closed it. So. Just go over it, of course. I am pressing the brush down, but not as much as 45 degrees, because I don't want to go too far with this. This should be okay. That's it. I'll just turn it back around for you. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to add three or four leaves. So first of all, I'll just clean this brush. That's it. And we're going to use green on the outer corner, and we can use white on the inside of the leaves. So let's blend away. A bit more green, little dot of white. Okay, we can do a larger leaf here on this side. Press your brush down at 45-degree angle. Let's have a look. We can just do a general wiggle here again. And then we'll bring it back in. Okay, what I need to do is, this paint has been here a little while, it's getting dry. I'm just going to give it a small mix, dot of water into my green, just to make it creamier again. There we go, that's nice and creamy. I'm going to do the same with the white as well. Just a dot of water and give it a little mix. This will make it a bit easier for us for painting. Just reload the brush again. So, a bit of green, a bit of white. Yeah, that feels nice and creamy again. what we want. Green and white, nice and creamy. Let's go back to this leaf. We just press, and the paint is a lot creamier now, it moves where we want it to. Just do that. In the opposite direction, we can just add to the leaf. So, just do it like that. We're going to do another leaf coming down this side, just here. I think that will be nice. So just wiggle it back and forth. Here we go. And the same on this outer edge, just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's it. We're going to do one in the middle as well. I think that will be fun. Why not? If this is enough for you, you can always stop now. You don't need to continue with another leaf, but I think it will be nice. So all I do is I'm just going to turn it around. Just do a sort of a longer leaf for this one. Let's see. We just wiggle it down completely. A light touch at the end. And that's it. So what we do now is we should really go over the leaves again, just to add a little bit more intensity. So I'll do that. We'll just go back to the first one. Oops. Here we are, the first leaf. The second one, sorry, the second leaf. And here we just do a sort of a line in the middle. So that's it. While that's drying, I'm just going to wipe the paint off my finger, which I've just painted. So that's gone. What we can now do is add a few little dots for extra accent to the design. That's always nice. Just clean the tool. That's it. Just go straight into the white. We can do a couple on this side. Oops. There we go. And do a couple of dots on the other side. I will do it as I normally do. Sorry, it's probably difficult to see, but let's see. A few more dots there. And we'll get our little tiny fine liner brush now. Just wet it slightly. And we can use the colour white mixed with a tiny dot of green, just to make it very light, a white with a hint of green, shall we say. Just for the inside of the leaves. Just make sure it's a bit wet. That's it. Yeah. Could just add a few lines here. We just go so with a slight, very light touch. Make sure there's not too much paint on your brush. Here I'll do the same, and in the middle, just add a little one in the middle. And that's it. Just leave that to dry. I think that's looking quite cute now. That would be absolutely beautiful, just as a little accent to a ring finger, for example. Once this is dried, we can add our top coat. Make sure that you use a flexible top coat, for example, something that you would normally use on top of your gel polish. And always make sure that your design is fully dry. You'll know that when the paint starts to become matte. So just hold it really well under the light, take a good look, because it would be a shame to paint over your design and for it to smudge everywhere because the paint is too wet. Okay, the design is dry, so now we can put our top coat on this. This is always the nice part, when your design comes to life once you put the top coat on it. It's very satisfying. Just have a good look to check that everywhere's covered nicely with your top coat. And this is. And here it is, the finished design. I hope you enjoyed practicing that. And yes, have lots of fun with this design in the future.